Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on SportPredictorFanatic. Today we're gonna predict the next round of the Bundesliga, which is of course round number 3 for the Bundesliga. Let's get into it. We're gonna start with Dortmund against Heidenheim. Dortmund has of course started their Bundesliga campaign with a win over Eintracht Frankfurt and then actually a surprising draw against Werder Bremen. So not the best start, but it's not bad. Their opponents Heidenheim started the season with a almost perfectly, with a win over the win in the DFB Pokal. Then two wins in the Bundesliga over St. Pauli and Augsburg. And they actually got Conference League qualification by beating BK Häcken from, I think, Sweden, 5-3 on aggregate. These two teams have actually only played each other 3 times, with in 2014 a friendly ending in a win for Dortmund. And of course last season they played twice, with actually both of the matches ending in a draw. I do think though that Dortmund have the stronger team. And although Heidenheim are doing pretty well and higher momentum, they haven't faced a team like Dortmund yet. And because of that, I think Dortmund will still get their win. Then the next match is Leipzig against Union Berlin. Leipzig has of course started the season with a win in the DFB Pokal and then won both Bundesliga matches against Bochum and of course Leverkusen, which was of course the first loss of Leverkusen, and that ended their streak. Really good from them. And then Union Berlin also started with a win in the DFB Pokal, but then drew the opener of the Bundesliga against Mainz. But then second game against St. Pauli, they actually won. Last season, of course, Leipzig and Union Berlin played each other twice, with both times Leipzig winning. And I actually think Leipzig have the better squad here and the better form, and because of that will get the win. Then we have Hoffenheim against Leverkusen. Hoffenheim started off the season with also a win in the DFB Pokal, then a win over Holstein Kiel in the Bundesliga, but then a loss against Eintracht Frankfurt. While Leverkusen actually started the season with a win over Stuttgart in the DFL Super Cup, then started the Bundesliga with a win over Gladbach, but of course then lost against Leipzig, but in the meanwhile also started the DFB Pokal with a win. They're doing alright, only the loss against Leipzig of course really on their mind. Last season, of course, these two also played each other twice, with both times Leverkusen winning. And actually the last time Hoffenheim won at home against Leverkusen was back in 2020. Since then, 1 draw and 3 matches won by Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen will once again win, as I think, of course, they have the better squad. And I actually think they're on a better form than Hoffenheim at the moment. And because of that, we'll get the W. Then it's Freiburg against Bochum. Freiburg actually started the season with a win in the DFB Pokal. Then also won their Bundesliga opener against Stuttgart, surprisingly. But then lost against Bayern Munich, of course, less surprising. And Bochum has started their season with a loss in a DFB Pokal against Bundesliga 2 team Regensburg, and then actually went on to lose both of their opening games as well against Red Bull Leipzig of Eisenbach Leipzig and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Last season these two of course also played each other, with actually twice Freiburg winning. And actually the last time Bochum has actually won against Freiburg was back in 2021. Since then, 6 wins for Freiburg, which is of course really good. And I think Freiburg once again have the stronger team and will get the W, so they will extend the streak to 7 games. Then we have Wolfsburg against Eintracht Frankfurt. Wolfsburg, of course, opened the season with a win in the DFB Pokal as well, but had a huge task in the first Bundesliga game, which was, of course, beating Bayern Munich. Although they did play really well, they lost 3-2, which was, of course, a shame. The second game against Holstein Kiel, they did actually win though. Eintracht Frankfurt started the season the same way with a win in the DFB Pokal, then a huge task in Borussia Dortmund, where they actually lost, and then a win over Hoffenheim. Last season, these two, of course, also played each other twice, with Wolfsburg winning at home, and of course, in Eintracht Frankfurt's home, it was a draw. And actually, the last time Eintracht won this matchup was back in 2021. Since then, 3 draws and 3 wins for Wolfsburg. And actually, the last 5 times Wolfsburg played Eintracht at home, Eintracht Frankfurt won once, which was 5 matches ago. Then they drew twice, and then Wolfsburg won twice. I think this will actually be a very close matchup though, and I think it could go either way, but I think Eintracht Frankfurt have the better team, but Wolfsburg have looked like a little bit better until now, so with that I'm predicting a draw. And then we have a Borussia Mönchengladbach against Stuttgart. Gladbach started off the season with a win in the DFB Pokal, then lost their Bundesliga opener against Leverkusen, but then won their second match against Bochum. Stuttgart actually started the season with, of course, the loss against Leverkusen in the DFL Super Cup, then lost the first match in the Bundesliga against Freiburg as well, but then came back in winning ways in the DFB Pokal, where they actually beat them quite easily. And then in the second Bundesliga match, they went to a draw. But that was actually a match where Stuttgart was way better. So they've looked good, but has not come out yet, let's say like that. Last season, of course, these two teams also met twice, with both times actually the home team winning. The last time Stuttgart has actually won away was against Gladbach, was in 2021. Since then, 1 draw and 3 wins for Gladbach. But I think that is going to change, because I think Stuttgart have the better team, and should get a win here today. Well, not today, of course, but I think this weekend they will get a win against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Then we have Holstein Kiel against Bayern Munich. Holstein Kiel actually started the season with a win in the DFB Pokal, but then in the Bundesliga lost both matches against Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg. Bayern Munich also started the season with a DFB Pokal win, and then went on to win both Bundesliga matches as well, with the match against Wolfsburg and of course against Freiburg. Bayern Munich and Holstein Kiel have only played each other once in 2021 for the DFB Pokal, where Holstein Kiel won on penalties after a 2-2 draw. But I think Bayern Munich is gonna it's going to make it a 1-1, a draw in the head-to-head series, because I think Bayern Munich just have the better team here, better form, and should just win this matchup. Although I didn't think they looked that great until now, but I mean, that can change, of course, after the international break. So yeah, I'm going for Bayern Munich. And then we have Augsburg against St. Pauli. Augsburg have actually started off the season with a win in the DFB Pokal, but the first match in the Bundesliga against Werder Bremen ended in a draw. The second game they actually lost against Heidenheim. St. Pauli actually also started with a win in the DFB Pokal, but then went on to lose both games at the Bundesliga against Heidenheim and Union Berlin. The last time these two actually played each other was back in 2010, where St. Pauli actually won. and actually they've only played 3 times in the Augsburg stadium, and Augsburg actually won all 3 of the times. And I think the teams are actually going to be quite close this season. I think the teams are pretty equal, but also like their form at the moment. And because of that, I actually think it's going to be a draw. Then we have Mainz against Werder Bremen. I think Mainz started the season with a win in the DFB Pokal and then opened the Bundesliga with 2 draws against Union Berlin and Stuttgart. While Werder Bremen started off the exact same way with their draws, of course, were against Augsburg and Dortmund. Last season, these two, of course, played each other twice, with Werder Bremen actually winning both matchups. And I actually think at the moment, though, that both teams are like pretty equal. I think Werder Bremen have maybe looked a little bit better, but I think there's not much of a difference, and because of that, I'm going to go for a draw. And then we're going into the betting part of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting on 5 matches. The 5 matches are, well, Stuttgart to win their match, and the odd for that is 2.25. Then Freiburg to win their match, and actually the odd for that is 1.69, so pretty low. Then I have got Wolfsburg against Frankfurt being a draw. The odd for that is 3.65. Then Augsburg against St. Pauli. The odd for a draw there is 3.65. And Mainz against Werder Bremen. The draw odd here is 3.65 as well. What I'm gonna do, like my pretty standard bet, is 0.5 on doubles and trebles, which means €5 because of all those 5 matches you can make 10 trebles and 10 doubles. So I'm going to be putting 50 cents on both, which will of course make 10 times 5 makes 10 times 0.5 is of course 5. And because I do that 2 times, it will get up to €10. So yeah, that is actually what I'm going to do for the Bundesliga. Let me know what you think, because I'm actually interested in that. So please let me know. But for now, I want to thank you all for watching. Please have a good day, and I will see you.